Now, welcome to FBB Forum. I'm very pleased to welcome the beautiful IFBB pro women's bodybuilder, Jeanie Welker. Jeanie has been competing in bodybuilding since 2017 and earned her pro card at the NPC Universe in 2018. That's right, 2018. Jeannie's most recent pro show was the 2022 Chicago Pro, where she placed in the top 5 and actually saw you compete there. That was a great show.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a really great show. I was really
It was a
pleased to
great
be
show.
there. Yeah. But welcome, Jeanie. I really appreciate having you here. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Thank you for having me, David. This is my pleasure, actually. So
Thank
thanks
you.
for asking.
So I wanted to start with how you got started in bodybuilding. And I was curious if you had an athletic or sports background in bodybuilding. I mean, before bodybuilding.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's a great question. I actually was chubby for the first half of my life.
Really?
Uh, so I think my journey has been in mainly two parts, and that is in 1999, I dropped a bunch of weight,
Okay.
started, and I was into fitness at that point.
Okay.
But then I didn't start bodybuilding until 2008.
Okay.
So I had no athletic background other than playing tennis so that it would be good on my transcripts.
Oh, sure. Okay. That's
And
cool.
I did not do it well. So
No.
there's that. No, it was not good, but I tried very hard.
Yeah, you had mentioned 2017 was when you started in NPC, but did you do like a different league in bodybuilding before that?
All the other federations, so WNBF and IFPA, those kinds of things.
Oh, very cool. That's great. Very cool. I was curious, how did you get started in bodybuilding and who convinced you to do your first contest?
So I was working at a gym when I wasn't in vet school to make just a little extra cash and rent. And two friends separately, who I'm friends with to this day, Dewey and Lisa, both came to me separately and said, "Have you ever thought about competing?" And I was like, "Oh, come on, stop. That's silly." And then 9 months later, I competed. So thanks to them, I'm
Wow,
here. So
that's so cool. And you
it
still
is
keep,
really cool. They're wonderful people too. So and competitors in their own right. So it's really cool to be brought into the world, and I'm very thankful to this day for their love and support.
I bet they really root for you now that you're doing so well now with being a top pro. It's really great.
You know what? Their friendship matters the most. And
Yeah.
so even if I wasn't doing this, I mean, we'd still be friends because
Yeah.
of those kind of people. Yeah.
That's terrific. Very cool. I was curious when you started competing, did you have like a fitness role model and do you have the same role model now? If so?
Okay, so I don't think this actually, it doesn't seem strange to me because this is what I did, but I always looked at the men's bodybuilding physiques. Those were my favorite, and I thought how beautiful that would be, and then just pop my head on top.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I was like,
Uh-huh.
that's
That's
that's the
cool.
build. And so any
Yeah.
of the women that got close to that, Iris Kyle,
Yeah.
Alina Popa, and Kathy LeFrancois,
Yeah. She's great.
yeah, so they
Yeah.
had, but the men that I looked at always, I loved Flex Wheeler,
Yeah.
Lewis, Sean Ray, Kevin Levrone, Kai Green,
Hmm.
and then of course Big Ronnie. So Ronnie Coleman, the
Yeah.
King. So, those were the bodies that were my favorite in terms of X frame, aesthetic, conditioning, presentation, kind of the whole package deal. And
Yeah.
those to this day still motivate me, the men and the women that I just listed.
That's terrific. That's great. That's a great list of competitors too. Like
They're top notch.
they're all
Yeah.
legends in their
Mhm.
game for sure. That's so cool. Um, I was curious when you first got went up on stage in the bikini for a show, were you kind of nervous? And do you still get nervous these days when you compete?
I was nervous then and I'm nervous now. So, you get less nervous, I think, in the sense that, I mean, I know how to prepare now. I mean, when I was a newbie, I had no idea what to expect. I'm getting out there. I have no idea if I'm doing it right, if I'm turning the wrong way when everyone else is facing the other direction.
Hmm.
But as you get seasoned, you know what to expect.
Hmm.
And so then your preparation or your conditioning or how much you practiced your posing then becomes the element of whether you get a little nervous or not. And I sometimes think I don't to don't do that or don't practice as much as I should.
Yeah, sure.
So, and then I think that it's going to show, and I think it does, but you do the best you can.
Yeah. I think it depends on whether you're kind of introverted or extroverted too, and
Introverted,
introverted,
100%.
really?
But I'm a functional introvert, and I think
Yeah.
my past career that you may mention was the force behind that
Yeah, I understand.
of
Yeah.
becoming a functional introvert. So it can happen. It wasn't painless, but it was a transition I made. So yeah.
That's something I'm kind of the same way, kind of a functional introvert, I think, and I've kind of learned to adapt over time to just be social and and but also kind of lend my talents. Yeah, I think it takes some time, but and some
You know,
kind
I
of
heard something. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt.
no, you go ahead.
I heard something really cool. It's not on bodybuilding, but in terms of introversion and extroversion in this, they said introverts leave the house with 5 coins, and every interaction they have to give out a coin, and at the end of the day, they're empty.
Hmm.
Extroverts leave with their pockets empty, and they just fill.
Oh, I see. That's a good analogy. I like that.
So I think that's
Yeah.
us, where we leave with the coins, and then we come back and we're like, I'm tapped out.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and then you just kind of need some alone time and chilling out time, I
Yeah,
think.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Now, I saw that you work as a veterinarian, and I was
That's
curious,
right.
do you have your own vet practice business? And I was just curious if your coworkers and employees, uh, do they support your bodybuilding career?
Oh, sure. So, no, I'm an associate and I like it that way because whenever something breaks, it's not my problem. So
Yeah.
there's no overhead and all that, those concerns and managing personnel and that sort of thing.
Okay, great.
So absolutely not. And I really like where I'm at. My coworkers are supportive. It's not a big deal to them, but I
Okay.
think unfortunately they have to. A lot of the clients apparently speak of me, but they won't ask me directly. Sometimes they do, and I'm like, sure, I'll
Mm.
answer whatever questions you have. But
Hmm.
they actually end up asking my nurses,
Mm.
questions, and so they end up talking more about me
Mm.
and what I do than than we actually probably do in the back. So
Are they maybe too shy to ask you and stuff, or
it might be, or
yeah,
that might be it. They just don't know if
yeah.
that's appropriate or not. And
Oh,
it's fine. I play it by ear. Some people do ask, and I'm more than happy to talk about it. I'm not obviously ashamed of it, but
yeah.
it does come up.
That's cool. Yeah, I can relate to that. Working for the man that's the way to go. I think, don't have to, yeah.
Right. Did something break? I'm sorry. I that's not, you let me know when it's fixed. Okay. So
Yeah,
that's where we're at.
I feel that way too.
And
Uh,
the things that break in the medical field are big, big, big items. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
Mhm.
How big is your practice? How many employees do they have?
Oh, we have about like 25.
Wow,
Any
it's pretty
given
big.
day we have anywhere from it's never just one, but we have 2 to 4 doctors working per day.
Really? Wow, that's pretty busy, huh?
And we stay
Yeah.
so busy. We got busier. We were busy before, but we got even slammed during COVID. And then
Yeah.
it just never let up. So
Mm,
job
yeah.
security.
That's true. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, maybe more people were getting pets during COVID to have companionship and that kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah.
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 I was curious, have you brought home a lot of fur babies as a result of your work?
The way we have it, we don't, all the pets that I work with the exception of some, are owned.
Yeah, sure.
So they have homes,
Yeah.
and I think the policy is not to directly just take animals home if they can't, take care of that pet. There's ways to do that, but it's we don't necessarily do it that way. But I do take home on occasion if I have an opening, pocket pets. So sometimes people will bring uh, or drop off or abandon hamsters and gerbils and mice and rats and things, little guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They're easy to take care of,
Yeah.
and so I can give them a home. So usually it's pocket pets. I would also probably take care of a reptile as well. They just don't tend to drop those off as often. So
That's cool. Yeah.
yeah, it's never. I love what I do. How can you not love what you do? Yeah, there's rough days or rough cases, but it's always net good in the end.
I thought it would be fun.
Yeah.
I was curious now, I noticed you're a former naval officer, and I was curious, how long were you in the military, and how did that experience kind of shape your bodybuilding journey?
I was in for 5 years as a naval officer, stationed both in San Diego and Sasebo, Japan.
Oh, wow.
And I think that it was instrumental in setting me up for bodybuilding because it
Yeah,
taught me, never giving up, routine regimen. Sticking to that is key to being consistent, which is going to get you success in this sport. It's like everyone says, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You
yeah,
just can't do it that way. It's just not how we play it.
yeah,
When things
sure.
get hard, never stopping. The organization is a necessity as well. You can't be flaky and running around, and you'll never get it right.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
true.
meeting deadlines. So very.
Yeah, yeah, I bet that really did help prepare, I bet, because there's so much preparation involved and so much discipline too in being a bodybuilder. So I bet that did help prepare you.
It did, and I will honestly tell you, without shying away from it, I think I really needed that maturation. I don't think that was. I certainly didn't have it my first uh, college round, and the maturation wasn't there. So it really it put hair on my chest. But yeah, it was good. It was a good experience.
I wanted to say I did see some U.S. Navy ambassadors today. I just saw the Blue Angels in Lakeland, Florida, and it was amazing seeing them. They're just so amazing to watch. So
Yeah, they're really
yeah,
cool.
yeah, they are. But they put on a really good show. Um, now I was curious. My next few questions are about family and home life, and I was curious, what do your parents think about your fitness career, and are they supportive?
I actually don't have any family really.
No,
But I know that my father would be very, very proud.
really, that's terrific.
He
Yeah,
always thought that muscular women, he just thought it was a beautiful thing, a great thing,
yeah, that's
uh,
cool.
imbibing strength and all that. So he would be very proud, I'm sure.
That's terrific. That's great.
Yeah,
Was he a bodybuilding fan, would you say, or just in general? Like,
absolutely not. He
no,
just happened to, we were flicking through the TV. I do remember this as a little girl. We were flipping through, and there was a female bodybuilding competition, just a short little snippet on the screen.
yeah,
And I remember him saying, "Wow, Jeanie, look at that. That is something that takes a lot of work and
yeah.
dedication." That I remember that, and
Wow.
I don't even know if that was the start of. I mean, because I certainly didn't start that day, or
Uh-huh.
I remember I said I was heavy for the first half, so it must
Yeah,
not have had that big of an impact on me. But
yeah,
in
sure.
retrospect, that's kind of a beautiful thing to remember.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's really cool. No, I do remember back in when I was a kid, back in the 80s, NBC would show the Miss Olympia and a few of
Mhm.
the other women's bodybuilding shows. So that's where, and it kind of raised my awareness of like, wow, this is pretty awesome. So
I agree.
yeah,
I'm just glad I have the health to participate. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Every day is a gift. And
yeah,
so yeah, I love being up there. I love being able to represent it as well outside of being on the stage. That's
yeah,
really important too, because it just isn't so odd. It's really not that odd to develop that muscle. We all have the same muscles. It's just a matter of whether you want to develop it or not. But it's not so odd. I think the comments wouldn't be so frequent if I was a guy.
yeah. I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're really inspiring to a lot of people. You do look
Oh,
so good.
I don't know if that's true, but if it is, that's wonderful because that's a positive thing, I think.
Yeah.
You're breaking up a little, David.
Am I? Oh, sorry. Let me try something real quick here. Try closing that out. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Um, Now you live in Seattle area, is that right?
I do.
And I was curious, have you found that to be kind of a supportive community for bodybuilding?
Absolutely. So I'll tell you why, even though there's not a lot of us out here,
Yeah,
there's a lot of vegans and therefore not a lot of beefy people. I'm just joking, but I'm not really because there's a lot of vegans here.
that's true. Yeah.
And Seattle is a city that is very, very good about letting you be whoever you want to be.
Hmm.
As long as you're not hurting anyone else. There's really this vibe of you do you.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
it's acceptance, not tolerance. That's a
Okay.
very huge difference.
Yeah, sure.
There's acceptance here and you can feel it. It's not and so it's a really good vibe. I came from the Midwest and I know that the environment's not certainly not accepting and oftentimes not even tolerant. And so I'm in a
Yeah.
place that I happen to be in a place that is very, very accepting and positive of different ways of life,
Yeah.
no matter where or how you do that and express it. So I feel very blessed.
That's terrific. I know that the Vancouver Island Pro Show is coming up soon in April. And I was
Mhm.
curious if you're going to be going to that just because it's probably the closest pro show for you or in terms of bodybuilding and physique.
It is the closest pro show, but I will not, I probably won't attend. But I'm
Okay.
going to a show at the end of this month, and it's probably one of the largest national qualifiers in the US. Extremely well organized. When I did it, it was like the 35th anniversary. This
Oh,
couple has been doing this show for decades, and it's a really top-notch show, and it brings hundreds and hundreds of competitors, and it's the Emerald Cup. Um,
yeah. That's been on for a long time. Yeah, you're
it's an
right.
amazing show, and so I
Yeah.
always like going to that and supporting all the amateurs and they have
Yeah.
a couple pro components too, but they don't have in women's bodybuilding. But if they did, if
Yeah.
someone's listening, a women's bodybuilding at Emerald Cup would be amazing. But
Yeah,
um,
that'd be great. Yeah.
so yeah, I love going to that show, and it's local. You know, it's a
Oh,
great day, way to spend a day.
I remember ESPN used to cover it and yeah, it was that's always been an excellent show. I agree.
Yeah,
And probably the biggest national qualifier in the Pacific Northwest, I would think.
it's huge, and that was in 2017. That was my first NPC show.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome. Yeah.
That's where I got my national qualification that got me to the NPC universe. So
Oh,
it was,
very cool.
yeah, I didn't
That's
even have to take a plane trip or a hotel. It was
I
amazing,
I bet. That's kind of nice. Yeah. Especially with prep and doing a show like that. It's nice to have it in your backyard like that, which is
right?
good. Yeah. Um, Now, I was curious, do you find it hard to juggle the demands of work life and bodybuilding and your home life?
Oh, not at all. So I train before work.
Okay.
So the day starts with me doing something for me, you putting in the work so that
Yeah,
I have more to give the rest of the day.
sure. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, no, I just train before work, and I just spend the rest of the day dealing with animals, which is not a bad way to go. So
Yeah, that's true. That's nice. What about, do you get bitten sometimes though?
occasionally, I'm really good at reading. Like I can tell, you can tell. It's spicy cats are obvious.
Yeah.
Certain dogs are obvious.
Uh-huh.
It's the ones that are silent that I'm really good at reading. So we're just cautious, and you get better at seeing where they're headed. And if it's ramping up, you just take a step back. But I rarely get bit. And if anything, I'm accidentally poking myself, uh,
Okay.
which we all do at work, and we're just like, I'm so glad I'm not taking medicine. I
Oh
just poked
no,
myself. That's a good again. No, no, it's fine.
that's cool. Yeah. Um, my next few questions are about prep and coaching, and I was curious, what would you say is the toughest aspect of competition prep for you?
The hardest part is keeping up, and I know, I guess it's different for different people. It's hard to keep up the energy and the momentum when you're chipping away at calories. And I don't dip too low because that's just not smart. It's to find a different way to do it. But I
Mhm.
think trying to keep that gusto up when you're depleting yourself over time gets really hard.
Yeah.
But what you didn't ask about, I think the hardest part of everything in general is actually off-season eating.
Mm.
I cannot eat enough because of the way I do my diet. I cannot eat enough
Uh-huh.
to get, um, I just don't eat enough. I'm probably eating half of what I should be doing off season, which
Sure.
affects your ability to grow, but I
Yeah,
just
sure.
can't seem to eat enough. I don't really have a great appetite. So
I've heard that's tough because it's almost like you have to force feed yourself, and it's just like it's not a comfortable feeling. It's just kind of, you know what I mean? And
100%. So
yeah.
it feels like you've got a fire hose up to your mouth. You're just like, I can't drink it all. So I actually do something a little different. I don't think you asked about this, but I'll just do a short little thing. I do
Yeah.
intermittent fasting.
Okay.
And so I only eat between 7 a.m. and at the latest, maybe 1 or 2 p.m. off
Okay.
season. And
Uh-huh.
noon is my cutoff for prep
Okay.
season. And so I have to eat all these calories in a 5 hour window. And
Mm.
it's tricky.
I bet. Yeah, I bet that's tough. I've heard of that intermittent fasting before, and I think I've heard it's pretty effective though. It seems to work well.
It's super easy. It's the easiest way to lean out for me. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've tried everything. Everyone's tried everything,
Mm-hmm.
but this one's easy. It's practically brainless.
Hmm.
And I do it off season as well, so I don't get sloppy.
Hmm.
I
That's
don't,
very
I don't,
cool.
I like my body off season and I like it prep season as well, up to a certain point. When I'm super lean, it looks great, yeah, but you don't feel great. So
Yeah, I understand.
I think that off season, I still wanted to be able to feel good in my skin. That's very important for me. This should be a 365 a year sport.
Yeah, that's true.
So
And it is. It's such an all-encompassing sport too. It's just kind of it's you're you're always trying to improve and I think it would
it's
be
every
tough.
part of your life.
Yeah, I bet.
Easily. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I was curious, is when you're in prep, is there a particular food item that you miss the most that you're waiting for prep to end?
I I think I just want more.
Yeah.
So it's funny how delicious everything seems when you are on prep. Um, Even something as simple as like, okay, I'm just gonna microwave a chicken breast, and
Uh-huh.
it's the most amazing thing. You haven't even added anything to it.
Uh-huh.
It's that's kind of sad, but I feel like this is gonna sound crazy, but because I do the intermittent fasting, it's very forgiving.
Okay.
And so I don't necessarily need to go low carb or cut away a ton of things. If I have a little hiccup in the road, it's very padded or secured by the intermittent fasting, and it just kind of negates that little flivvet. I try not to do it, obviously,
Yeah.
but like if I want, yeah, like fried chicken's my thing. So if you said one food is
Yeah.
fried chicken, but the truth is, I can still have fried chicken if I peel most of it off.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And I do my fasting, and it really doesn't seem to. I mean, I'm still making the weight goals,
Okay.
so I feel like it's easier that way.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's kind of nice.
I've got to kind of enjoy it. I feel like if you I yes, there's a toughness or a hard aspect to the sport, but the truth is, if you don't love that, if there's not some little part of you that doesn't love that suffering, it's not for you. Do
Yeah.
something else. Learn to crochet,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
yeah, you're gonna suffer, but there's a part of you that's gonna have to go, and I want it to be more.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Uh-huh.
That's what I want.
I understand that. Yeah. I mean, personally, I don't understand that because I don't think I could do it. But uh,
How about this? Think of it this way. I think that, especially for me at least, um, if I haven't struggled for something, I
uh-huh.
don't appreciate it as much. If
Yeah.
nothing's ever really been given to me, but uh, I really appreciate the things that I've been able to accomplish, but it wasn't without sacrifice
Yeah, I
or
understand.
work on some level that was out of my comfort zone.
Okay. Yeah. I totally understand that. Yeah. Um, yeah, and it's just a feeling of accomplishment too to when you
Right.
yeah, that's huge accomplishment. Yeah. Um, I was curious, what advice could you give to up and coming competitors who are looking for a good coach? And I was going to ask you too if you have a prep coach or opposing coach now.
I'm not, I'm not really, I don't think I'm the one to ask about coaching because I've never had one.
Oh, really? Oh,
Never had one.
uh-huh.
Um, I kind of wanted all the, so every victory I have is mine, but
Yeah.
every failure also mine.
Hmm.
It's all mine, and I
Yeah.
take responsibility for all of it.
Wow.
But I think that I would say, though, from what I've seen with my friends who compete,
Hmm.
is that it's very important that you be able to have it should be an open dialogue between you and the coach. He
Hmm.
or she should be able to and be willing to listen to questions about why am I doing this? What are we doing this for? What are the goals? What's the big picture? What's the small picture? What are the details that I need to know about? Why are we doing it?
Hmm.
Because if you don't have that open dialogue, and if you've got someone who's just giving you cookie cutter, well, use this diet. Well, that's funny. My friend's got the same diet, and you're the coach.
Yeah.
If that diet still works for you too, I think that it should be tailored.
Yeah. I agree with you on that.
And,
Yeah.
and because each experience, each body, each competitor is going to be different.
Yeah. That's true. That's interesting. You don't have a coach. Like you're the first competitor.
Your, your sound went out.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Oh, sorry about that.
no problem.
It You're the first competitor I think I've spoken to that didn't have a coach. And I was curious, have you passed or
I've never had a coach.
no? Wow.
I've always done it myself. I've gone to many of my shows. I just go by myself. I fly out there. I'm
Yeah.
in the hotel room. Everything's by myself.
Okay,
I
very
just
cool.
learned the hard way that you have to pay for the TAM. Like I used to
Oh,
try and do it myself, and that's just those are learning curves, right? So
yeah.
uh, yeah, we don't do that anymore. I learned the hard way.
Yeah, best to do the tan or have them do it for you. Yeah.
Yes, here's my money. Thank you. Just stand there. Get
Yeah.
straight.
Uh-huh. I think that's a good idea. Um, so I was curious, when and where do you hope to compete again? And I would hope you come to Tampa because that's where I am, so I could see you compete. So
Maybe eventually. So no, next year is when I'm going to compete again. So I'm having a really nice long off season
yeah,
because I feel like if I'm always cutting and I only have like a 3 month off season, I'm not able to really make the changes that I want to.
yeah,
So hopefully next year, early in the year, I'd like to step on stage and wow them.
that's great. Yeah. Oh, you could do Vancouver maybe. Huh? Uh-huh. Hmm,
Maybe.
uh-huh. No, that's great. I know a few competitors who've taken a year off and it just helped them so much. It's been a huge improvement. And yeah, I think that's a really good idea. That's terrific. I was curious, like when you've competed in the past, what feedback from judges did you get in terms of where to improve your physique?
I love that you asked this question. So I usually uh, I didn't know how to get the results back or the feedback. And so the one time I decided to get the feedback, I emailed the head judge, which is who I was told to email.
Hmm.
I'm not going to call them out, but I emailed them and DM'd them, and I emailed all these different messages. I never responded.
Really? Oh, that's not
Not
cool.
get any response.
Oh,
So I that was the one time I stepped forward to go, you know what, I should probably get these feedbacks and see what they're thinking, and never got a response. So I'm back
oh.
to where I was before. We're like, well, I'll just do my own thing as usual.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. I've heard sometimes you can catch them after a show or two, but I know that they're pretty popular guys at that time, so it might be hard to catch them.
And that's not my style. I can't introvert, remember, Dan?
Yeah,
So
that's true.
be going, hey, me. No, I'm not going to do that. So I'll be
Yeah.
like, they look busy. They look really busy.
Yeah, I understand. Oh no, that's cool though.
That's all right. It just showed me like, okay, so you're back to square one, figure it out. And I
Yeah.
have a buddy of mine who I trust to look at me and just kind of give me this is lagging, this is coming up. I've got an eye.
Okay.
So it's not like I don't have anyone looking at me, but
Yeah.
uh, I'll send him pictures and say, hey, does this look like there's a, I just get his feedback and it's very valuable to me. So
That's good. I think that's, yeah, especially with you kind of coaching yourself, I think it's good, important to get
just
that feedback.
yeah, like I he hits me so hard because I said I have body dysmorphia. He says so because I don't see myself as large, and he's the he's the voice of reason for that. Like he just says, "Are you kidding?" So uh,
Wow, that's
sometimes
cool.
you just need, but he's got a good eye, and he doesn't bullshit. He tells me when things are not growing the way I think they might be. So it's
Yeah, sure.
good to have that eye.
That's really, yeah, I think that's really important. Um, I was curious, what's your favorite muscle group to train and what's your least favorite? And I just think your back is amazing. And I think you're kind of well known for your back.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That's kind. Uh, back. I do enjoy. Who doesn't love back day? I don't know. I love back day.
Yeah.
But I also love arms
Uh-huh.
because my biceps were really hard to bring up.
Okay.
So I really enjoy working those because they take a lot of work for me to develop them.
Yeah.
Uh, I think the least favorite, although I still do it twice a week, is shoulders
Mm-hmm.
because they are my most stubborn body part.
Okay.
Um, but I don't know. I don't dislike them as much as I used to. I think I'm going to go with my least favorite, 100% forever, will never change is abs.
Oh yeah? Huh.
Oh, I hate them. Yeah,
Wow, really? Why do you
I
feel
hate them.
why do you feel that way? I was just curious.
So much work and so much pain, so little effort shown. No, like it
Oh,
doesn't.
huh.
Maybe, yeah. I just
Oh,
don't.
oh no, that's cool. Yeah. You're
Everyone's
abs.
got a body part they don't like that
Uh-huh.
to work at least, and abs are mine.
I've heard that before from other ladies. So yeah, I think abs are can be a bane to a lot of folks.
Me.
Um, I was curious. I do want to warn you, we have about 4 minutes, so I'm running
Mhm.
short on time. Do you have, do you find it kind of hard to keep up with demands of social media? And I was just thinking you might get a lot of DMs from fans and other competitors and stuff.
I don't think it takes much time because I won't allow it to take up that much time of my life. I'm not paid for it. You
Yeah.
know, I
Uh-huh.
post when I want to post. I do post fairly often, but
Hmm.
it's because I want to, and you know, look if you want to. If you don't like it, okay, move on.
Okay.
But I don't really have much. I don't have any income from that, so I just
Yeah.
kind of do what I want, and then I post and I let it fly. Yeah,
Okay.
no, I do get a lot of DMs, but I don't. If a lot of them are odd or um, unnecessary, and so I just delete them. Every
Okay.
once in a while, though, if the first line says something that might be like, say, you asking for an interview or
Yeah.
someone else asking a question
Uh-huh.
that is not odd, then I will answer it or I'll open it and at least read it. But I delete a lot of messages.
Yeah. Probably a lot of trolls out there too. I just hate the trolls, they're kind of, yeah.
They are what they are. I mean, my life's fantastic, so it's not like that has any impact.
Yeah, sure. That's really good. That's good. Um, I'm going to skip ahead on one question. Like, if you were in a leadership position with NPC or IFBB,
Mm.
what would you do to improve the sport of bodybuilding, and how would you try to make the sport better?
Whew, this might be a little controversial. So I
Aha.
think they should stick to it's a sport. Bodybuilding is a physique sport. It is an aesthetic sport. So I think in turn they should reward aesthetics. So
Hmm.
I think they should reward women that keep a small waist and a
Hmm.
nice face.
Yeah.
I know that might get some heat. Don't care. I said it.
Uh-huh.
I think
Yeah.
that it can be done if you have patience
Yeah.
uh, and you think through things
Hmm.
and do things smartly, uh, that it can be achieved, but it may not be on the same time frame if you're pushing things too hard. So yeah,
Hmm. I
I
like
think
that.
we reward that because that's what made it go away in the first place.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
And we're getting bigger. I can see the trend already. The physique women are getting bigger. The bodybuilding women are getting bigger. They're
Yeah.
pushing things pretty hard. So
Yeah.
yeah, just think about where you want us to be, and I'd like us to still be alive and be doing what we love. And we
Yeah.
need a place for that. So
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And yeah, I know it's not a beauty contest, but just having the beauty up on stage helps you stand out, and pairs well with the muscularity too, I think. And
definitely don't think it should be a beauty contest per se, but I think that there are certain changes that aren't necessarily beauty related, but feminine.
yeah, I agree. Well, we're almost out of time. I was wondering, could you do a quick flex for me? Double bicep?
Front double bicep.
Thank you. Yeah, you look terrific. Thank you so much. And
Yeah, thank you.
I'll try to get this posted on YouTube soon, and I'll include your Instagram down in the comments.
Great.
But I really appreciate you coming on the interview or the show with me today, and thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, David. Thanks for asking me. This was fun.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Take care.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.